Welcome class 7 in our e-learning class. Today we will start a new chapter from the Social and Political Life book 2, Struggles for Equality. And for the previous chapter, Markets Around Us, you study the chapter properly, thoroughly, because you will get inside questions from that chapter. Struggles for Equality. In this book you have read about people like Kanta. The answer is Milani and Shopna. The thread that connects all of these lives is that they have been treated unequally. What do people do when they face such inequalities? History is full of examples of persons who have come together to fight against inequality and for issues of justice. Do you recall the story of Rosa Parks in chapter 1? Do you remember the photo essay on the women's movement in chapter 5? In this chapter, you will learn about some of the ways in which people have struggled against inequality. As you have already read in this book, the Indian Constitution recognizes all Indians as equal before the law and states that no person can be discriminated against because of their religion, sex, caste, or whether they are rich or poor. All adults in India have the equal right to vote during elections, and this power over the ballot box has been used by people to elect or replace their representatives. So all these things we have come to know, that in our country the constitution has given the instruction that no person can be discriminated in terms of their religion, sex, whether they are rich or poor, whether they are educated or uneducated. In this way, no person can be discriminated, and moreover, this power over the ballot box, it has been given to the citizens of India so that people can elect or replace their representatives. But this feeling of equality that the ballot box provides, because the vote of one person is as good as that of another. So let's read once more this line. But this feeling of equality that the ballot box provides, because the vote of one person is as good as that of another, does not extend to most people's lives. As you have read, the increasing privatization of health services and the neglect of government hospitals have made it difficult for most poor people like Kanta, Hakim Sheikh and Aman to get good quality health care. These people do not have the resources to afford expensive private health services. We know this one, no, that nowadays this medical system, it has become so costly, such expensive, that if you are not having money enough, you are sure to die without any sort of diagnosis, without any sort of treatment. Okay. Similarly, the man who sells juice does not have the resources to compete with all of the major companies who sell branded drinks through expensive advertising. Shopna does not have sufficient resources to grow cotton and so has to take a loan from the trader to grow her crop. This forces her to sell her cotton at a lower price. Milani, like the millions of the domestic workers across the country, is forced to endure meaning suffer the insults and hardship of working as a domestic help because she has no resources to set up something on her own. Poverty and the lack of resources continue to be a key reason why so many people's lives in India are highly unequal. So why people who are living in India, they are not having equal lives? Because this is the reason, that poverty and the lack of resources. On the other hand, the Ansaris were discriminated against not because they did not have the resources. In fact, despite having the money to pay the required rent, they were not able to find an apartment for over a month. People were reluctant to lease them an apartment because of their religion. Similarly, the main reason that the teachers forced Om Prakash Valmiki to sweep the schoolyard was because he was Dalit. These things we have all come to know. You have also read that the work women do is often considered of less value than that done by the men. All of these persons are discriminated against primarily because of their social and cultural background, as well as because they are women. Discrimination on the basis of a person's religion, caste, and sex is another significant factor for why people are treated unequal in India. So, another reason for people getting unequal treatment in India. Sorry. Another reason for which people are getting unequal treatment in India is that the discrimination on the basis of a person's religion, caste, and sex. Okay. Often, poverty and lack of dignity and respect for certain communities and groups come together in such powerful ways that it is difficult to identify where one aspect of inequality ends and the other begins. As you have read, Dalit, Adivasi, and Muslim girls drop out of the school in large numbers. This is a combined outcome of poverty. So we have seen that these Dalit people, these Adivasi people, and Muslim girls, they drop out of school in large numbers. This used to happen previously, though the number has become quite less now, but it is still prevalent. It is because what is the reason that they drop out of school? This is combined outcome of poverty, social discrimination, and the lack of good quality school facilities for these communities. Now, struggles for equality. Just wait. So, throughout the world, in every community, village, city, and town, you will find that there are some people who are known and respected because of their fight for equality. These people may have stood up against an act of discrimination that they faced or which they witnessed. Or they may be well respected because they treat all persons with dignity and are therefore trusted and called upon to resolve issues in the community. Often some of these persons become more widely recognized because they have the support or represent large numbers of people who have united to address a particular issue of inequality. In India, there are several struggles in which people have come together to fight. Sorry, I just checked once whether the video is running or not. Okay, it is running. So where I was in chapter 5, in India, there are several struggles in which people have come together to fight for issues that they believe are important. In chapter 5, you read about the methods used by women's movement to raise issues of equality. The Tawa Matsya Sangha in Madhya Pradesh, the Tawa Matsya Sangha in Madhya Pradesh is another example of people coming together to fight for an issue. So, there are many such struggles, such as those among bidi workers, fisher folk, agricultural laborers, slum dwellers, and each group is struggling for justice in its own way. There are also many attempts to form cooperatives or other collective ways by which people can have more control over resources. So let us read about this Tawa Matsya Sangha, Matsya. When dams are built on or forest areas declared sanctuaries for animals, thousands of people are displaced. Whole villages are uprooted and people are forced to go and build new homes, start new lives elsewhere. Most of these people are poor. In urban areas too, bastis in which poor people live are often uprooted. Some of them are relocated to areas outside the city. Their work as well as their children's schooling is severely disrupted because of the distance from the outskirts of the city to these locations. This one we have seen that for example for timber, then for industries and for these sanctuaries, many a time, or for building dams, many a times these forests they are getting cleared, or even if the forest is just preserved, that means the plants they are not cut down, still then the forest dwellers they are asked to leave the forest. Forest dwellers, I am not meaning the wild animals, but the human beings whom we normally just address as Adivashis. They used to live in these forests, and for these building wildlife sanctuaries, they are asked to vacant the forest, and they are asked to go somewhere else to live. And for this getting the timber, or for building the industry, or for dam, many a times this forest, they are just been cleared. And at that time, what happens to the dwellers of these places? They get uprooted from their village, from their dwelling place, from their relatives. They are getting separated. And even in urban areas also, we can find that sometimes bastis, they are just vacant, they are made vacant, and as a result, the poor people who used to live in these bastis, they are uprooted, and some of them are relocated to areas outside the city, and it becomes quite problematic for them, especially for their children, to carry on with their school. That means they are not able to come to the school. The system gets disrupted. So in this way, people, they are suffering. This displacement of people and communities is a problem that has become quite widespread in our country. People usually come together to fight against this. There are several organizations across the country fighting for the rights of the displaced. In this chapter, we will read about the Tawa Matsya Sangha, a federation of fisher workers. Matsya Sangha, that means Tawa Matsya Sangha, a federation of fisher workers, cooperatives and organization fighting for the rights of the displaced forest dwellers of the Satpura forest in Madhya Pradesh. So, children, today we are ending our class here only. Give a tick mark up to this one. In our next class, we will proceed with the next part of the chapter, and we will come to know more about this Tawa Matsya Sangha. And do one thing, kindly read properly the chapters. Again, I am saying read properly the chapters, because if the exam is again that online exam, there you will get these MCQ type questions, and for this MCQ you have to read the chapters thoroughly. Just wait, let us discuss one or two questions of this market around us also, so that we should not feel that this chapter is neglected. Just wait. So children, come to page number 103. The questions of these markets around us. In what ways is a hawker different from a shop owner? You can understand very well. A hawker is not having any permanent shop. The hawker has to go to door to sell his things, whereas the shop owner is quite lucky to have a permanent shop. He or she does not need to move door to door to sell the things or goods. Now, number 2, leave it. Number 3, explain how a chain of markets is formed. What purpose does it serve? Come to this page number 99. In the previous sections, you have read about different markets from where we buy goods, from where do you think shop owners procure their goods. Goods are produced in factories, on farms and in homes. However, we don't buy directly from the factory or from the firm, nor would the producers be interested in selling us small quantities such as 1 kilo of vegetable or 1 plastic mug. So we can understand very well, when we need sugar, we go to the grocery to buy the sugar, but this sugar is not directly, the sugar which we are buying, it is not directly coming from the field, because there the sugar is first, sugar cane, it is first planted, and after that it is harvested. After that it goes to the industry, where from the juice is extracted from the sugar cane. After that, the sugar which we use, this sugar cubes, it is formed, and from there, that means from the industry, the wholesalers, they buy, and in turn from the wholesalers, the retailer, they buy, and from the retailers we go to buy. So in the city whole market it is there, wholesale market is there, and we have come to know. Just let us read the second part also of this chain of markets. The people in between the producer and the final consumer are the traders. The wholesaler trader first buys goods in large quantities, and these will then be sold to other traders. In these markets, buying and selling takes place between traders. It is through these links of traders that goods reach far away places. So this is the importance, here lies the importance of this chain of markets. Okay. So this could be a trader in a weekly market, the trader who finally sells this to the consumer is the retailer. We are the consumers. Okay. So we go to the retailers to buy. The trader who finally sells these to the consumer is the retailer. This could be a trader in a weekly market, a hawker in the neighborhood, or a shop in a shopping complex. So the wholesalers, they buy the goods in large quantities from the factories or from the firms, and from them the retailers, they buy, and from the retailers we, the consumers, we buy. Okay, all persons have equal rights to visit any shop in a marketplace. Do you think it is true for it is true of shops with expensive products? Explain with examples. Examples we don't know, but I don't think that there are some problems. Okay, because if a poor people, if a poor person, not poor people, if a poor person tries to enter in a five-star hotel, then at that, and that also wearing some untidy clothes or not dressed properly, at that time that person has to face a lot of insults or has to face a lot of problems. Okay, so leave this one. Number 5, buying and selling can take place without going to a marketplace. Explain this statement with the help of examples. It's quite easy. Buying and selling can take place without going to a marketplace. Yes, online buying. Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, then so many other these sites are there where we just can sit at home and we can make our choices. We can order and we will get it just in front of our door. That means it is just we are helped to receive that one. We are helped to receive that one sitting at home. It is delivered to our house. Okay children, so this question answers also we have discussed. If you are having still any problem, query, anything, you will ask me through our e-portal, and read the chapters thoroughly, properly. Bye all of you. Stay happy, stay well, stay blessed.